All right, welcome back for another edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Chris Wright, along with Calhoun County Sheriff Larry Emerson. Good to see you, Sheriff.
Good to be here with you, Chris, and good to be here with you, Calhoun County. What a wonderful job you've been doing for us. 11 more arrests this week. Wow.
That's great.
Thank you, for everyone, for all those arrests, and look at that total. Over 3,800, like 3806.
Yeah.
Folks just keep helping us.
So many we couldn't put them all up on one screen at the same time. So,
unfortunately, business is booming.
Mm-hmm. But no, so we'll have a brand new list for you this week. 14 different individuals that we need your help in locating, and we'll get started with that here in just a few minutes. But first, Sheriff, we've had some folks clowning around, and it's not funny. Let's talk about what's going on and what's not going on.
And especially parents and young people, if there are young people watching the show, there's been a lot of kids making social media posts, I say a lot, but some, in different states where they're giving pictures of a clown and then saying things like, we're going to shoot up the school. We've had that here in Calhoun County. We've actually arrested some juveniles for that. And we have some who called in bomb threats today at one of the local schools, so via social media. So we wanted to talk to you parents about the importance of monitoring. The good news is we've had no credible threats, but we have had a lot of concerned families, a lot of concerned people, and they're saying, what in the world is going on? And the issue is unmonitored social media by people. Particularly young people. And there's some sites that you can go to, folks. And if you'll go to our Facebook page and our Sheriff's Office web page, you'll see some tips on what to do. But most important, monitor where your children are going. See what they're doing on social media. What sites are they visiting? Who are they talking to? What kind of friends are they associating with?
Yeah, it used to be years ago when we were growing up, occasionally our parents would talk to the parents of the kids we're hanging out with and find out, okay, is he acting all right when he's over here?
Yes.
And that wasn't an invasion of privacy. Well, nowadays, kids are interacting differently. Instead of going over to Johnny's house to hang out, they're hanging out on their cell phone and all this, and they're doing these things online. And in a lot of cases, we're not monitoring that. We don't talk to Johnny's parents to find out what they're doing.
No.
Johnny's parents don't know. We've got to... People think it's an invasion of privacy, but knowing what your kids are up to is not an invasion of privacy.
Parents, you need to know what your children are doing, and as Chris said, it's not an invasion of privacy. You also need to have a trusted person to monitor your children, so you're maybe not looking at it, but somebody can contact you and say, hey, did you know this? Did you see this? And for younger kids, have their passwords. You really need to have that data, because if there's a question, you need to know you can go online and see, and they need to know that you can see. And there's a lot of good reference sites out there, and children are being cyber bullied. We need to know that, and your child needs to know they can come to you and talk to you about that. You're not going to pull the plug on their computer. You're not going to get mad at them because they come and talk to you.
And that's an important point. It's not just about making sure that your kid's not doing something they shouldn't do. That is part of it, but it's also about making sure that your kid is protected about everybody that's able to connect with them through that device.
Yes, and parents, it can be any child can be subject to that. There's been very popular, very well thought of children get that, and there's been those kids are, and I was kind of a nerd when I was a kid. If you're kind of in that description and you don't interact as well socially, you should be aware of your child being at risk for that behavior.
All right, so again, some good information at the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office website, so you can go there and find out more about how you could keep an eye on your kids without completely overrunning any privacy that they have. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the first half of this week's lineup, and Stinson Carpenter from Rainbow Omega will be joining us on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford, for the best cars and best price.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
A crackhead,
drug addict,
alcoholic,
meth freak,
a wretch.
like me.
I once was
homeless,
broken, sad,
Just lost.
but now I am
Sober.
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
AOD Federal Credit Union. You already know their friendly staff and great loan products. So here's reason number 8 to choose AOD FCU, a new all-platinum Visa credit card. Call 1-800-637-0299 or visit AODFCU.com to start earning 1% cash back on purchases. Your good credit earns you a better rate. A new Platinum Visa card. Another reason you belong at AOD Federal Credit Union.
I have a lot of land that I have to keep up. I'd recommend Mahindra. I've never had any trouble with mine. Like I said, I do a lot of bush hogging. I do a lot of garden tilling. The service department has been great. Every time I've ever called or needed anything done, they have done it for me.
Hey folks, come see us at Foothills Tractor. We're your one-stop shop for anything you need. Locally owned, locally operated, give you the best customer service guaranteed.
Hi, I'm Katina Houston Stroud with Family Links, and this is the Family Tip of the Week. Now in the news, middle schoolers found sexting photos of their 13-year-old bodies to each other. Parents, if you haven't heard, sexting is the act of sending nude photos of yourself or others via your cell phone. A recent study conducted suggested that 1 out of every 5 teens in America has tried sexting either via cell phone or while online, so it's not a subject we can ignore. Teens, the fact of the matter is you have no control over the image once you send it and no control over what someone else will do with it once you send it. Possession and distribution of such pictures, which are by definition child pornography, is against the law. And again, once the photos are sent, you have absolutely no control over what happens to them. I know that kids sometimes do not have the ability to understand the consequences of their actions, but this one seems pretty cut and dry to me. You send out a nude photo and pretty soon everyone in the school, town, state, and country can see it. And somewhere down the line, you know that predators are viewing these photos too. I think the answer is we have to aggressively educate our kids at home and at school. I'm not naive enough to think that they'll stop all sexting, but at least it's a start. In some states, kids are being prosecuted on child porn charges. Do you think they should be? And how do you talk to your child about sexting and their online activities? What would you do if you caught your son or daughter doing this? This should be a call to action of all parents of teens to take back control of technology. And here are some things you can start doing today. Number 1, set rules around the use of cell phones. Number 2, monitor your teen's use of technology, not constantly, but on a random basis. And this is sort of like the technological equivalent of a random drug test. Number 3, have your teens charge their cell phones outside of the bedroom at night. Number 4, teach your teens about the dangers associated with sexting, including the speed at which messages can be sent to those that they weren't intended for. And number 5, encourage your teens not to respond to any sex messages they receive. Remember, this won't be easy, but nothing important ever is, right? For more tips, please contact Family Links at 256-820-5911.
And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up on our lineup this week, Joshua Hulbert. Mr. Hulbert, last known to be living in Alexandria. He's wanted for failure to appear, for possession of a controlled substance ×2, and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And meet Marcus Garrett. Mr. Garrett, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted for failure to pay on receiving stolen property first. And this is Leonard Monroe. Mr. Monroe, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to pay on writing multiple worthless bad checks. And take a look at Jamie Renfro. Mr. Renfro, last known to be living in Oxford, he's wanted for failure to appear on a fraudulent use of a credit card. And meet Keandra Morgan. Miss Morgan, last known to be living in Anniston, she's wanted for probation violation on possession of a controlled substance. And this is David Yates. Mr. Yates, last known to be living in Rainbow City, he's wanted for failure to appear on use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And last up in the first half of our lineup, Landon Snyder. Mr. Snyder, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance. And that's it for the first half of the lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show.
We will have more bad guys for you here in just a little bit, but right now I want to welcome one of my favorite men to the show, Stinson Carpenter, founder and CEO of Rainbow Omega in East Tavoga, Alabama. Stinson, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Chris.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
For those people that don't know what Rainbow Omega is, because you're kind of off there in your own little quiet part of the area, some people may not realize what Rainbow Omega is. Let everybody know what it is that you do.
Well, Rainbow Omega is a place for individuals that are developmentally disabled. We're located out at East Tavoga, but people get older and they worry about what's going to happen to their child. So our mission is to provide a place to where they can age, where most parents want protection, and also provide a good quality of life for these individuals. And we have 82 that live at Rainbow Omega.
These are developmentally disabled individuals that are not able to live on their own, and for whatever reason, they're no longer able to live with their families.
Well,
or choose not to.
Well, the family is making the transition before the time becomes an emergency.
Right.
And then when they make the transition, if something is not quite like they would like for it to be, they can help make it better. But if they're gone, they can't do that. Yeah. And so a lot of them make the transition when they're in their 50s, but there's really no good date about that.
I'm going to repeat something that you told me off the air here a little while ago. We were talking about Gene Stallings. Everybody is familiar with Gene Stallings, the national championship winning coach at Alabama years ago, and he had a son that developmentally disabled, and he actually said very publicly that if there came a time when he was no longer able to take care of his son, that his son would be living at Rainbow Omega, and he's on this presidential commission about dealing with individuals with these disabilities, and said, hey, if we could just do what they're doing at Rainbow Omega in East Tavoga, Alabama, and put that all over the country, we'd solve this problem.
That's right. He did tell that to the president.
Wow. So the president obviously hasn't been able to clone Rainbow Omega and put it all over the country, but things have been growing in East Tavoga.
Yes, sir. We started out small. Well, we started out with zero, and we built 2 homes our first year in operation back in 1995, between 95 and 2000. And then we opened up that year in 95 with 2 homes, and then we've grown to now we have 9 homes, a large state-of-the-art work center for a place for these individuals to work at their rate of speed and have fellowship with their other folks there. And then we have 9 greenhouses. We sell our plants to the public. And then we have 2 medical homes that, like anybody else, they get older and get frail, where we do tube feeding, catheterization. We have some that have Alzheimer's, but we have Down syndrome, we have brain damage, we have a number of autistic people, and then a combination of some of those, and then we have individuals that are blind, we have some that are deaf, but they all work together, and it's a happy place.
And the working part is something that a lot of people are interested in, where the folks that are there, people may not think that they're capable of doing work, but they are. And Sheriff, you know very well that we all, regardless of what our lot in life is, we need something productive to do, right?
That is right, and it's amazing to hear the stories and see the work that's produced at Rainbow Omega. I go to the event every year, and they show us the videos, and we meet some of the folks who are residents there, and they really enjoy working and spending their money and being a productive part of the world.
That's correct. They enjoy life, even when one maybe goes to the doctor for some small procedure at the hospital, and they come back that afternoon, they need to go rest, but no, they want to come back into the work center and be a part of that.
And if people want to see the quality of work, if you drive a Honda that was made in the last several years, you've seen their work.
If you drive a Honda, our folks probably assemble the directions in the glove box, material that people don't usually read till they get in trouble.
Right. Guilty.
But our folks assemble those, and just this year we received an award from Honda that we were proficient, and we were never late, and our stuff that we packaged had no mistakes. So our people are really particular about their work.
It's not just giving them busy work to keep them busy. They're actually doing work, meeting deadlines, and doing a good job.
That's correct. They do about 1,500 a day, and we do meet the deadlines and do it professionally.
Very good. All right, we need to take a break, but we've got lots more we want to find out and share about Rainbow Omega when we come back for the next segment of Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Ready for a new ride? Get ready for Rig. I'm Rig A. Marole, and I am ready with all the fancy jargon, made-up expenses, marketing gimmicks, and flat-out lies that you've come to expect when you go car shopping. You want to pay way too much for a piece of junk like this? Get a load of me, Rig A. Marole, at your neighborhood used car dealer. I'll have you marolling off this lot in your new vehicle.
I'm Marty Boyles, and I guarantee no rigmarole here at Jacksonville Auto Sales. Just good cars and trucks at fair prices. We're in Jacksonville across from Walmart, or find us on the web at jascars.com. Remember, Jacksonville Auto Sales, home of the no rigmarole deal.
I have a lot of land that I have to keep up. I'd recommend Mahindra. I've never had any trouble with mine. Like I said, I do a lot of bush hogging. I do a lot of garden tilling. The service department has been great. Every time I've ever called or needed anything done, they have done it for me.
Hey folks, come see us at Foothills Tractor. We're your one-stop shop for anything you need. Locally owned, locally operated, give you the best customer service guaranteed.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
A crackhead, drug addict, alcoholic, meth freak, a wretch like me.
I once was.
Homeless,
Broken. Sad.
just lost. But now I am sober.
Happy.
I'm found.
was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
The Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford, for the best cars and best price.
And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Cody Bragg. Mr. Bragg, last known to be living in Weaver. He's wanted for probation violation on theft of property second. And meet Jessica Coleman. Miss Coleman, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for probation violation for breaking and entering a vehicle. And take a look at Alice Baldwin. Miss Baldwin, last known to be living in Oxford. She's wanted for probation violation on possession of a controlled substance. And here is David Brinkley. Mr. Brinkley, last known to be living in Piedmont. He's wanted for contempt of court on child support, the face of a deadbeat dad. And meet Luke Coggins. Mr. Coggins, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted on probation violation for obstruction of justice by using a false ID. And last up in our lineup this week, Byron Bailey. Mr. Bailey, last known to be living in Piedmont. He's wanted for probation violation on receiving stolen property first. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you have any information on the whereabouts of these folks, please give Crime Stoppers a call at 238-1414.
We are back on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll have a crazy criminal for you and the Crime Stoppers segment of the show. But right now we're talking with Stinson Carpenter from Rainbow Omega. And Stinson, for those folks that don't know this, Rainbow Omega is not just something that you happen to stumble upon. It's something that you created, and you created for a reason. And your son is that reason.
That's right. In putting it together, I sort of just wanted something would fit my son, but little did I know there's parents out there just like me. We really don't have anything that's not original. All parents are concerned about what's going to happen to their son or daughter when they pass away.
And they may not think they have many choices, but Rainbow Omega is a choice for them now.
Rainbow Omega is a choice. We have a long waiting list, and they come from all over Alabama. Some come as far away as Alaska. We get lots of calls. A lot of organizations from other states will come to Rainbow Omega and to see how we did it, and they want to go back and do that in their state. And there's a program in Tuscaloosa that we help them do what we're doing. And anytime we can provide this kind of stuff, I believe in it because it is safe. We provide a lot of opportunities for them out in the community. A lot of people that in our community work there, and so it is a unique place. And the other side of it is perhaps an institution, and that was my thinkings in the beginning. I did not want my son Chris to live in an institution after we're gone. And they still worry, you know, who's going to go see him when my wife and I are gone at Christmas time? Who's going to help him celebrate his birthday? And who's going to hug him and tell him that they love him at night? Because he's still 4 or 5 years old mentally, even though he's 50. And there's others there just like him. And they want to know they're loved and cared for. They're not just out there in the world.
And this is a calling to do this, and Rainbow Omega is a ministry.
It is. It is. I tell people sometimes that we wash feet at Rainbow Omega, and we literally do that.
And other body parts as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about the people that are watching right now. If there's somebody watching and say, you know, this is a great thing in our community, which it absolutely is. This is something that I want to support. When people ask you, how can we help Rainbow Omega, what comes to mind to you?
Well, people help a lot of different ways. Once a man came to me and said, if you'll get me an Auburn, Alabama football that was in the game and the quarterback signed and the coaches, and I'll give you $10,000. So I called Coach Stallings and said, I got a man a donor wanting to give us a chunk of money, and I told him the circumstances. He said, well, you call him back and see how many balls he wants at 10,000 apiece. So we do get, as a matter of fact, in our residential program, and there's 56 of that, we don't get any federal or state money for us to operate. But we've had a lot of people that help us build houses, and even money given for operating. But one of the things I mentioned to folks that have wealth and don't know what they're going to do with it exactly, probably most everybody has a plan, but one of the ways that if you live in your home now and you own it, and you know you're getting close to the other side, talk to your family, and if they're in agreement, then they can donate that home to Rainbow Omega and continue to live in it until they pass away. And then when they pass away, then it just automatically comes to Rainbow Omega. And during that time, though, if they donate it 10 years before they pass away, they can take all of that off on their taxes over a period of time. And if you have the house and you put it in your will and you pass away, you really don't get any tax break except the satisfaction of donating it to a place like Rainbow Omega.
So if you go ahead and say we're going to go through the process and make the donation, they can still keep the home, live in the home, treat it like it's theirs, it's still theirs until they pass away, and they get that tax benefit, and they absolutely know that Rainbow Omega is going to see a great benefit.
Yes, sir. We have some donations like that.
That's a great opportunity for people. If you own your own home, you might want to consider that. But whether it's that or some other way, if you want to find a way to help with Rainbow Omega, they'll appreciate any kind of donations and lots of other help as well. Whether it's maybe just buying some mums. Right. It's mum season right now. And you got some beautiful ones at the greenhouse. All right.
We have regular donors that send $10 a month, but that's a big donation. It all adds up.
It does. Well, Stinson, thank you very much for the work that you're doing Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Chris.
All right. We'll be right back with our Crazy Criminal of the Week and the Crime Stoppers segment of Calhoun County's Most Wanted next.
AOD Federal Credit Union. You already know their friendly staff and great loan products. So here's reason number 8 to choose AOD FCU, a new all-platinum Visa credit card. Call 1-800-637-0299 or visit AODFCU.com to start earning 1% cash back on purchases. Your good credit earns you a better rate. A new Platinum Visa card. Another reason you belong at AOD Federal Credit Union.
I have a lot of land that I have to keep up. I'd recommend Mahindra. I've never had any trouble with mine. Like I said, I do a lot of bush hogging. I do a lot of garden tilling. The service department has been great. Every time I've ever called or needed anything done, they have done it for me.
Hey folks, come see us at Foothills Tractor. We're your one-stop shop for anything you need. Locally owned, locally operated, give you the best customer service guaranteed.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved a crackhead, drug addict, alcoholic, meth freak, a wretch like me.
I once was.
Homeless,
Broken. Sad.
just lost. But now I am sober.
Happy.
I'm found.
Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
The Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford, for the best cars and best price.
And welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, where we ask you to put your deer stalkers on and help our investigators with these cases. First up this week, between September 15th and September 16th, the Sabo Car Wash in Alexandria was burglarized. They got away with money. And last up on your caseload this week, between September 14th and September 18th, a riding lawnmower was stolen from East Glen Road in Alexandria. If you have any information on these cases, please give us a call at Crime Stoppers, 256-238-1414. Remember, we want your information and not your name.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
All right, our Crazy Criminal of the Week. Sheriff, this may look like a scene out of Mission Impossible here. We've got some video to show you of an individual who broke into a daycare here, and you see him coming down through the ceiling here, like they did in Mission Impossible. He's falling into a YMCA daycare facility. He's robbing the cash register, taking all the money out. He doesn't realize in the dark that's the cash register. A toy cash register with fake money.
I love it.
That's better luck next time, I guess.
Well, he did a whole lot of work that if he just got a job, he could have made money. Not done that, but that's the just reward for him.
Absolutely. All right, well, real quick before we wrap up the show, we want to thank you again for a great week, 11 arrests, thanks to the information that you shared with us last week. If you missed the lineup this week, maybe you tuned in late, you can find it on the Facebook page for the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office, or you can watch this show in its entirety on the TV24 website, tv24.tv. We'll be looking for you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.